Okay, well, good afternoon. Here we go with an arts and crafts lesson. I'm Suzanne, and my wonderful assistant Ray Maclellan is here. Today, we're going to work on something that's very popular right now, a face mask. So we're going to begin with our 15 by 8 piece of fabric. And now, Mrs. Cobb taught me to sew in Amity Junior High School, and I'm used to using an iron when I sew. So Ray will be cutting out a pattern, and I have one that already has been cut out. So what I'm going to do is put the right sides of the fabric together. And when you sew it together, you have to leave a little slit on the top, probably approximately 3 inches. Now, nurses have told me that what they do is slip either a coffee filter in the little slit. Some people are putting a paper towel in the slit. A lot of the ones I've given away, no one has put anything really in there because this is a double layer of fabric, and that's enough according to the CDC. Here we go. Now I like to cut this particular pattern out so that the bottom is folded. Coming around to the top, remembering to leave our opening. Okay. So we have this square. I'm going to trim my threads. And press off the bottom. Now I have 2 samples here, which I found to be not the easiest thing to do, and I sew a lot. We're going to have to put our elastic on here, and the proper way to do it is to slip it inside before you turn it inside out. But seeing that it's elastic and stretchy was a little difficult on the side seams. So what I'm going to do today to make it easier for you, maybe novices, is when we finish our product, that's when we're going to put our elastic. We'll put it on the outside so it's a little easier for you. So I'm going to press off this mask that we have here, pressing off the bottom. And we're going to turn it inside out so that the nice side of the fabric shows. I like to use this little stick to do my corners, just so that it looks finished off nice. Don't be too powerful or you'll poke a hole in your project. I've done that too. You'll see these come together quite easily. Maybe they look a little harder than they are. Okay. Now we have our little square. You can see the opening is on the top. Next thing, I'm going to press it off again. Now for the next stage of the mask, they recommend that you make 3 pleats. If you've used a little less fabric, in other words, don't feel as if you have to have exactly the 15-inch. If you have something that's 14 inches for this particular measurement, use it anyway, and then only put 2 pleats. It's for your own particular preference. There's no, hard and fast rule about it. The reason for the pleats is so it will open up. In other words, this does not look very big, but when I put it on and pull on it, you'll see how big it is, which is very plentiful to do the job that we're aiming for it to do. So this is prepared and it's ready for us to put our pleats in it. And the first one I made, I did it exactly, the 1-inch pleats, but we're going to approximate today. When we start pleating, we want to be sure that the first one comes downward in that. And if that doesn't look right, you can turn it over, and on this side, it'll be going in that direction. So I've made 2 pleats. Okay, I think I have enough to make 3 pleats on here. So we'll pin this. Here's our sample right here. I want to put this down so you get a very good look at it. And I'm going to press this off so when I sew it, they kind of stay in place a little better for me. Now you're wondering, how does this stay on your ears? Elastic, bias tape, or ribbon? Elastic is very limited right now in every store because everyone is making these masks. I've made them out of ribbon, and I've made them out of thick ribbon and thinner ribbon, but then I happened to find this little stash of elastic in my craft room, so now I'm very delighted. This elastic is 6 inches. They do recommend that you cut a 7-inch length, but I found that for some masks that we've made, when the person puts it on, it slips down. And so we don't want that to happen. So we're going to assemble our mask now. And here again, we're going to put the elastic on the outside because it'll make it a little easier for you if this is your first mask. So here we go. Okay, we attached our top elastic. Now we're attaching our bottom elastic and securing our pleats. Going back. Okay, one side is done. So we'll pull our pins out. Now we're going to do the other side. Now, while I'm using the machine, Ray is hand basting a mask. You know, that might be some fun if you haven't been sewing for a long time and you want to make a mask for someone, and then you can tell your husband or your grandchildren, gee, I made this myself. Now this particular mask, Ray hand stitched this. So this would be an idea for you to work on at home. She has hand stitched the whole thing. We turned it inside out, and now I'm just pressing off her pleats. And now Ray, will you be hand basting this? Okay, so she'll...
That's what I said, if you don't have a sewing machine, you can do this by hand, if you can sew.
Yes, this would be wonderful. So see, this project is all hand sewn. Here we go. You know, I like to stress that a lot of projects, you can take the instructions and then follow them to a certain extent, but then use your own interpretation. And I've found that many, many times someone has added their own marvelous idea, and the next thing you know, it's a lovely work of art. So I like to stress, yes, we follow the directions, but also make every project your own. Put your own personal touch on your projects. All right. Now, here we go. We're going to take our pins out and cut our threads. Okay, here we go. I usually like to have that little hole on the top. And here's our mask. And you can see that when you pull it, it opens up very nicely. You have room. And this was with the 6-inch length of your elastic. And you know, we're going at a slow pace so that everyone can follow the steps, but if you wanted to, you could sit down at night and make a few of these. Get a good movie on and sit and sew and have fun. Before we end our wonderful class, I just wanted to show everyone the mask made by Ray that was totally hand stitched. So as you can see, it's very nice. It has the pleats, it has everything you need. So just wanted to be sure everyone sees that. So if you don't have a sewing machine, it would give you some confidence.